What's going on, everybody? Me and Big Daddy Greg, your Grace, is here to talk about season 2, episode 6 of the House of Dragon. Our immediate thoughts of watching this episode. We'll be right with you. All right, Greg, man, as we always do, let's give like a little outlier thoughts of the episode before we like look a little deeper into it. But man, what did you feel about the episode? What do you think? And all that good stuff.
Yeah, this has had to be my favorite episode of the season so far. This by far was the best piece of work that they have done to me personally, in the way I felt like I was really engaged. I wasn't really like concerned about, checking the time on how much left, I've been sitting for a while. Oh, it was like the expose was great. The people, the things that were going on, I was really engaged in. Was really, about what was going on. So this is by far the best episode for me.
No, I mean, I find that a little bit surprising, but not, because it seems to me like after, doing different series with you and talking about the different things, like that you actually enjoy good storytelling. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can see a lot of people, like I'm going to be, I'm a little anxious to see response from other people after they have watched it and everything, just because of the simple fact that like, this is a slower episode, but it's like me and you and the others that had to bounce because of internet issues, and one person's with their family and stuff like that. So understandable. But yeah, it was a slower episode, and some people is gonna possibly, oh well, it was slow. But I'm like you. I don't think this is my favorite episode. I think episode 4 probably is the best one. But I'm appreciating the fact that they take time to tell a story, right? And I know that things that we saw here is going to make things that we see later meaningful. And that's one thing great about the Game of Thrones back in the day, and great about this show right here in House of the Dragon, is they proved it in season 1, and so far they're proving it in season 2. If you're willing to pay attention through some of the like slow parts that some people would say was slow, like you get rewarded at the end. So this isn't wasteful. I hate it when shows have like episodes that literally didn't even have to be there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that I love with this kind of storytelling and this kind of writing is like, nah, man, you better pay attention, right? It may not have the biggest set pieces or like battles or whatever, but it's going to be leading up to certain things and everything else. And there was interesting things that happened in this episode with all that being said, and pawns being put in the places on the chessboard. But so, yeah, I agree with that. So we're both pretty positive on the episodes off the get-go. But yeah, there's a couple of things right there I wanted to show, and this right here is one of them, is the Lannisters. And I think it's cool because I don't think in the Game of Thrones, like the original one, they ever had lines that really meant anything for the Lannisters, at least part of the show, because they never really was at Casterly Rock at any point. But you see them marching up to this other castle, and they're basically like, yo, dog, we've been marching, and we ain't doing shit. But we want to go in here and be able to eat and drink and be merry. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was cool that they had the 2 cages with the 2 lions there. That was actually pretty cool. But what do you think about the Lannisters?
They're cool. I mean, I don't think you'll ever beat the high point of Jaime Lannister and Tywin and Cersei's version of them. I don't ever like anything. Every time I see them, I just think of them and think of the glorious, thing that I've always, looked at the Lannisters. But it's cool seeing them like in a different light, I guess, and seeing like you said, the dragons, the banners were carried out. So it's interesting to see like the lineage coming up to what I think is like peak Lannister. So it's fun.
No, yeah, I totally agree. It's going to be hard to kind of go back and beat like the Game of Thrones and the way the Lannisters were set up and the people that were involved there with Cersei and Jaime and stuff like that. But this is them before they became what they were then and everything else, which is kind of interesting to see. They're always kind of been this house that's kind of sits back. They sit back, they wait until there's advantage, and then they try to like do stuff. Even during Robert's Rebellion, which technically took place before the Game of Thrones, like they literally waited till the last minute, came to the Red Keep with their army, and they thought the king at the time thought that the army was there for him, but it turns out they were there for other reasons and stuff, because they knew the king was going to fall. So it was just a matter of time. So they were just there to do the right pickings and stuff. They were the first ones to show up once the king was about to be taken out and everything else. So they kind of doing the same thing here. It's like going back and sitting back and waiting and watching. We go later into the episode, and then we get Aemon here, one of his few times of being like the pure king. We got to see that a little bit, I think, last episode. Definitely got to see it a little more in this episode. The way their plan is, he's wanting Christian Cole and the others to go and gather up more men, everything else before they go to Harrenhal. And basically the Lannister guy's like, bro, we need you to come down here. We go dragon, haste. He doesn't like that. So like he's like, nah, y'all gonna do what I say, and he better start marching, haste. And then I'll show up when I'm needed, kind of thing, right? So like I thought that was a pretty interesting scene. Just all the actors and stuff just do a fabulous job in these moments and everything. Like just when they're sitting around talking at a table can be very interesting. Sometimes even more interesting than a lot of other shows when they have some of the action. But you had any thoughts here whenever we went to King's Landing and saw them at the council, and how Aemon's kind of taking charge?
Yeah, I thought this episode definitely highlighted his name's Damon, right?
Yep. Oh, Aemon. You're talking about
Aemon. Yeah, Aemon.
Oh, bro, it gets confusing. Don't even worry about getting the names wrong.
Like Aemon's him taking up the mantle, and him how he leads concise. He knows what he wants to do. You can look at him as a child, like his mom referred to him as childish and arrogant, but he's getting things done. He's delegating things. He's ruling by iron fist, as much is composed to what his brother led. Like there's a lot of like people questioning things, a lot of people going back and forth with other people. Nah, he's like, here, this is what's gonna happen. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get this done. Let's get it over with. And I think this episode showed both leaders, both him and Rhaenyra, get their shit together and show them as like leaders. And so now you're seeing, okay, these sides, like things are coming together on both sides. And now we're gonna get to a climactic end. But now you're seeing both sides kind of be led by Iron Fist.
Oh yeah, totally agree with that. And then we jump along. I stopped right here on purpose. This is where Rhaenyra, she brings in the Darkling, Lord Darkling, to come in there and possibly get on a dragon, because they found out he had heritage through the Targaryens and stuff like that. Like his great grandmother or whatever was part of the Targaryens. So technically he has Targaryen blood, and they were going to see if he could ride one of the dragons, Sea Smoke exactly. And I stopped right here because this guy's face, as they're talking about this, he's just like, bro, what in the hell? What the hell is going on here? But we have Queen Rhaenyra trying to put together the plan of having different people, show that they're worthy enough to possibly look at that guy's. He's like, bro,
this is the worst plan I've ever heard.
We're about to kill this guy. So I mean, you got to think about it. He's a pretty good, like he's was part of the King's Guard and everything else. So like, he's a good knight and everything else. So like,
yeah.
But he's like, hey, I'm loyal to the queen. He bows to her and says, I'll go out there and try to it. And he knows that he might die from this, you know what I'm saying? So like, he's kind of sitting back going like, bro, I'm going to try this. But like, if you were to get a dragon, you become very important very fast.
Yeah.
Like even more important than he is now. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you got this 50-50 shot, right? Am I going to become like this great person that now can ride a dragon, or am I going to just stay a King's Guard and everything else? So like, yeah, I found that pretty interesting. And like you said, it's kind of like Rhaenyra's trying to take the shot. The only advantage that they might have is they have more dragons. They just need dragon riders, so that now they can have a superiority in one spot. She doesn't think they can get superiority through like ground troops and knights. She needs to get it through the dragons.
No, it's fourth quarter. You're behind. You need to start throwing some bombs.
And something's got to happen.
Yeah, you got to start throwing some Hail Marys around here.
Yeah, and then we go with Daemon. Now, I will say this. You said, and I'm glad we got some Viserys in here again. Yeah. Like he says some of the same lines and everything. And I just think that's such a great actor, man. He's so good that like it's cool to see him again in some of these flashbacks. I like the dream sequences that Damon's having in this episode than say in the last episode. I mean, come on, bro, he's making love to his mama, even though he didn't know it. I mean, kind of nasty, you know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah.
in this particular thing, I love the fact that it was going back to Viserys and like his like almost love-hate relationship with his brother and everything else, and him like you can see in each of these scenes that he doesn't want his brother to say certain things that got him mad when he was like younger, and now he's like kind of like realizing the fact that his brother did need him, and maybe if he would have just like cooled down a little bit and could have kind of harnessed himself, that like maybe he could have actually made King Viserys even like a greater king and stuff, because they could have been ruling more together and doing that kind of thing. And no, man, I thought it was like really, really interesting. And like I said, I can't get enough of a series. He was like the number one piece from the first season. Like he was just an amazing actor. The things he did, that moment when he's going up to the throne and like his crown falls off and everything else because he's like barely being able to make it there. And that moment when Damon like grabbed it and put it back on his head and like helped him up to the throne, I thought was like a really touching moment and a well-deserved moment in the first season. But like, yeah, man, it's great to see him. And we're getting to see like Damon kind of like I said, kind of like change the way he's looking at things and stuff. Like now he's kind of remorseful, you know, he's not trying to just be this badass on the side. He's actually like realizing the fact that like he made mistakes. He made mistakes.
Nah, for sure. It's a way to show Damon's like character growth and different sides of Damon. So they've used this way to kind of do that. I've grown because I've gotten kind of like, are we going back to the dream sequence? Are we going back to like him dealing with his inner demons and stuff like that? But they've done it well enough to work. I'm still invested in it. I could definitely see myself getting tired of it if it was done bad.
Yeah, I think you were getting tired of it going into this episode because you were like.
But then I saw Viserys, yeah. It got me back on board, and I'm like, all right, we saw his, Damon dealing with this, and so it was definitely it definitely was good acting, so I didn't mind it.
Oh yeah, like I said, Viserys made it a lot better than him just doing some weird shit. So like it was, even though it still had its weird moments and stuff, like it was just different with him being there. And you're kind of like I said, you can kind of see on his emotions. Damon teared up multiple times in this episode, like multiple times, and like he just doesn't know what's going on and stuff. And he thinks somebody's fooling with him. He doesn't realize or know that it's the castle that's really kind of doing it. He doesn't know. Alice may be doing stuff to him. Like it may be the strong guy here. Like basically, what are you trying to be mad because I'm here kind of thing, and you're trying to secretly do something to me. All this because he pulls a knife out on my boy right here and he says, "Bye."
Yeah, I don't know. What do you feel like it is? Do you feel like it's the place itself? They said that it's like built around certain things.
I feel like
that lady that's maybe a witch, or do you feel like it's a Targaryen blood? Kind of, we talked about the Bad King and how they can go kind of crazy, like because of the stuff like that.
I think it's a little bit castle.
Okay.
Obviously there's magic in this world and stuff, and so like it's obviously something could be haunted, but like I think it's a little bit the castle. I think it's a little bit of the witch lady Rivers. I think and you kind of put those two together, and I think it's kind of like just overcoming him and everything. Okay. But I don't know if it's in malice. Like the first couple of things that you've seen, and even that message that she gave to him, like you will die here and everything else. Is kind of like dark and foreboding, but then like with this episode, now I don't think it's necessarily there to completely hurt him. I think it's him like getting him ready, like letting him get away from the past and the things that he may be like, just kind of like stuck in, right? Like he needs to get past that so that he can do what he needs to do going forward. And so now I don't know if it's ultimately malice behind what's going on with him. So let's say Miss Rivers is over there messing his head up. I don't know if she's doing it out of like spite or because she doesn't like him. She actually may be trying to help him actually, but I wouldn't have said that until this episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to, you think we get a resolve to this, or it just kind of glances over? Like we'll never know what it was. It got him to the point where he's like, I need to fall in place and play my role rather than always, thirst for the crown or do the right thing.
I think we'll get like more or less like what's going on. Although I do think this particular part of the story of why he's actually dreaming and why he's seeing these things maybe still like a mystery as far as exactly where it comes from. And I think that's kind of a smart thing to do. Keep some things mysterious, like you can kind of fill it in on your own. Is it just her, or is it the castle and all this other stuff and the things? For the lore. So like I'd be honest with you, I think they'll probably keep it more of a mystery and not just come out and tell us about. They might hint a little bit more, and you're going to have to pay attention because it'll probably be hinted in just a phrase or whatnot. And I'm trying to remember like particularly when Aemon's talking to Lucerys like later on about being the hand, whenever he says that comment of like, because people don't know, nobody's actually saying that Loras is the one that like burnt Harrenhal, that killed his like brother and whatnot. But like whenever you look at it, you don't know who knows that. Like we know that, or we think that pretty hard because we've been kind of hinted at it. But as far as the characters in the show, but that one line when Aemon says Otto Hightower has always been loyal to his family, which is more than I can say for some. Kind of like that line. That might not have been an exact line, but basically it's hinting towards he knows Larys doesn't even care about his family, not even loyal to his family, and probably the one that caused, his older brother and stuff like that to die.
Definitely. I think it's interesting that both of them are getting strong counsel by women.
Yeah, and
Daemon and Rhaenyra, Lucy later on.
Here's the thing that I've always said. Yes, things needed to have changed and everything else when it comes to like the world. Right. There was a time, big time, like majorly, and some people still believe it today, but there was a time, even in this world, not even in that world, right, where it was old school medieval times. Men ruled because of the power and strength and everything else. That during that time and time period, that's what was looked at as being like, the thing to have, and all this, and it was a patriarchy, right? The one thing I appreciate about these shows is, even though yes, it's still patriarchy, right? Because a lot of these guys are doing what they do because they don't think a woman should be in charge and everything. The great thing about Game of Thrones, and even in this like season so far, is that not only do you have women in kind of like higher power now. Alicent lost a lot of her power, but Rhaenyra still has a lot of power and everything else on her side. But like, they've always had these strong women that overcome, what it is like. And even during the time in our, in our world, when like men per se ruled the roost or whatever, and it was a true patriarchy, like women still like did great things. Women still overcame. Women still showed their strength in all kinds of ways. So like, I like the fact that the show does that. And like I said, a lot of the characters in Game of Thrones, even, and in House of Dragon so far, have been women, and they showcase their strength in their ways and everything else. I just think that's good writing and good storytelling, because even though the world is based on a time in history where it was ruled a lot by men, it still gives like women big, strong, key like roles to play.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, you've seen a lot of strong women, and not just like for the sake of throwing them out there because they need to hit a quota or they got to feel like they need to include it. They're really well written characters that really push the whole story forward.
Yeah, that's my thing, man. Some people get into these like a lot of stupid stuff when it comes to like shows or stuff like that. And I really don't get into a lot of that because I don't really care. I just care about the story being good. If the Acolyte, for instance, which we've been doing simultaneously, and now it's over, and this one's still got a couple of episodes left, and then we'll jump to another show. But like with the Acolyte, for instance, like I don't care like who's who or what's what or all this stuff. I don't care about none of that. I care about having a good written story. And if it would have been just good story writing and good plot and everything else in that show, like I would have loved every second of it. I don't give a crap what anybody, is or isn't. It doesn't matter. But like, here we go. We jump into this episode right here where we see the ball being thrown out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, you want to try to ride that dragon?
We know it, like this guy is barbecue. Like we've never seen him before.
Well, we have seen him, but like very small.
Yeah, we
You're
don't really
right.
care about.
He's kind of important as far as like helping keeping the queen safe, and that and all that kind of good stuff. But like other than that, like whatever. He's just a random King's guard. Big Daddy Dragon. They do some singing. Big Daddy Dragon comes up, and he's like trying to say the words he's been taught, and I guess that one word means serve me. And I don't know if I want to tell a dragon to serve me, man. Like is there a phrase that's a little bit better? Like, hey, let's work together.
Partnership, like
high partnership. High five.
Dragon fist,
But this is OC Smoke, and he kind of gets down there like he's ready to accept a rider, and Home Dude's getting a little comfortable. Yeah. He's like at first barely tiptoeing, and then he kind of like starts to straighten back up and like showcase like, oh yeah, I'm a brave SOB. But then this is what happens to him. Look, man, was it worth the chance, Greg? I mean, if you was in this situation, man, would you try to ride the dragon? If you thought there was a chance for you to ride the dragon, would you do it?
Nah, I mean, no way. But I can understand, like, it wasn't like feet pick guy, like he's kind of maneuvering for power. This guy just really wanted to serve. This guy was loyal. This guy was like, I'll do whatever I need to do for you, queen. I'll give it a go. This is such a great honor. I would have been like, can we try out? Can we? I'm good. I'm good, queen. I think I'm good. But you can't really turn down the, royalty at this point either. Like if they could just kill you.
No, like,
you're refusing to serve the crown. Like, okay, well, we'll just kill you. So it's like, damn if you do, bad if you don't. But there's no way in hell I'm trying to get on a dragon.
I don't know, man. I think I tried to ride the dragon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like if I think I have a chance. Now, I ain't randomly going to walk up to a dragon and try to ride that son of a bitch, right?
Yeah.
But I think if I thought I had a chance,
yeah,
I'd try to ride the dragon.
Like if I gotten some prophecy from some witch or Merlin himself had told me that I was prophesized to be a dragon rider, I'm jumping on that. But for them just to come up, hey, you're going to hit this dragon raw and just walk up to him and go on him, don't know about that.
But I like the way the show goes because as you see right here, we start jumping into some of the sun. Like it's pretty much hinted at and everything. But when we first got them in the show, people was like, hey, what's up? What's up? Why are we learning anything about these characters? Well, guess what? They act unlike some shows. These actual characters that seem like, oh man, I don't know like what's going on. They actually mean something. And like now you're starting to find out that they possibly may be the sea snake's bastard children. And then, we know they're brothers. So if one of them is, the other one is. And that comes to big fruition later on in the episode. Mm-hmm. And we also jump in here with the Smallfolk, man. And like, we get to see. So like last episode, we got to see the lady. She goes up, she knocks on the door to get accepted in and everything. She gets snuck into the castle. We were like, well, what is she going to do? Well, now we know what she's doing. She's implanting and getting others to implant, go to these eateries and dining halls and stuff like that, and basically bars, taverns, to like go in and spill the beans of like and plant the seed of like, bro, can you believe they're out here? They whining and dining like kings and queens while we having to sit in the alley eating pork and beans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, hey, it's we get to see later on in the episode like it's something that works, man. Like, and I really appreciated actually this scene. So I'm like you. Some people might look at this scene, oh man, this ain't that big of a deal. No, it's gonna make it. Even in this episode, this scene helps out what we start to see with the people, and how they start acting because they're damn hungry, and these other people are riding around in gold carriages and shit.
Yeah, it definitely starts to plant the seed of, maybe something they have overlooked. And the title of the episode is Smallfolk. So something's overlooked is, in war and being royalties. Sometimes you can forget about some things. And the art of war is knowing your enemy and knowing yourself. And sometimes your enemy will reveal some of its weakness. And I think they've, it starts to unfold for them.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it right here at this perfect spot, boy. Look at that dude's face. Look at this fool's face right here when he got smacked, boy. Yeah. She was like, I think it's my fault that you ain't been fearing my ass. And now, like, it's been me. I've been letting you ramble on with your dumbass thoughts. everything else, but hell no.
This reminded me of like the wrestling where like I feel like she should have got the beers like Stone Cold and snapped them together and chugged them.
Oh yeah, man.
Or hit the Rock special move. Like,
know
you roll, jabroni.
She should have had some guy over there with a lute. He had a lute. And he's over there like playing the shit out of it. You know, he's like, bro, give his ass.
And I wish he would have. I wish he would have like flown like Vince McMahon or one of the McMahons they usually do when they get hit, or Ric Flair. She just slapped the shit out of him and she took control. Said, "Nah, we're not having this anymore."
Yeah, and then we get into the section right here where we have these two talking and everything else. And I think they've actually got better chemistry than when we first saw them together in their first couple of scenes. You know, and Rhaenyra's like carrying around a sword, and it's like I was talking about earlier, like in medieval times, man, like the power and strength and stuff is what ruled the day. And in those days, being able to wield a sword, being able to wear the armor and all this stuff and go out to battle and war is what got you like these, you know, grand accomplishments that like push you forward and everything else. And like she's never really been trained with a sword and all this, and she wishes she would have now so that she could have that kind of strength and stuff and be able to do those kind of things. And so it's kind of like she's kind of thinking about it and talking about it all the time and everything else. And then this is where they kind of, you know, have the game plan of like, yo, hey, you know, I think the end of the last episode said there's, you know, more than one way to win a war. And we kind of get what she was talking about. She was like, we're going to send them a gift. So I didn't know what the hell they was talking about.
Yeah.
But then we get into the part of the episode where we got home dudes out here. They hungry as hell, boys. Hungry as hell.
Yeah, like, I see some lamb chops come through the yard.
And see, this kind of stuff sets it up, because then we jump right into this scene right here. We got Aemon sitting here with Loras and one of the other council members just kind of chilling. And you got home dude kind of vying for maybe I can be the hand of the king. He's acting like he doesn't want to be it, but at the same time, he's kind of like hinting at it kind of thing. And he's trying to warn him like, hey, dude, they're small folk, bro. They mad as hell. They getting impatient. They getting impatient. They about to do something, man. You got to be careful. So he's trying to give him this little piece of information. Like, hey, man, listen, got to be smart. Got to play this stuff. You know, I get what you want to do with like the battles and the wars, but you also got to pay attention to these other fronts. And like, it's something that Aemon should have took really to heart and actually paid attention to. But then he jumps over and says he thought that Larys or Larys thought he was going to give him the hand. Yeah. He said, no, you're going to be calling back Otto Hightower to be the hand.
How do we feel about Otto Hightower coming back?
I'm going to like it because I like it because, well, no, it's not shocking to me. I like, well, but you know, obviously,
because you read the books.
Well, I mean, obviously, like it, so it wasn't shocking in that way, obviously. But I'll be honest with you, like Otto Hightower is a great actor, so I love him being in the show just for that alone. And like you can say that about almost everybody. Like, who the hell cast these like HBO shows is just like freaking MVPs, man. Like all these characters, like Aegon may not have been my favorite in season 1.
Yeah, definitely good. He's like, I'm glad he's barbecue. Like he can't do much.
But no, but I like Aegon as far as like the way he acts. You know, like the actor does like such a good freaking job, man. And we got Aemon coming in here to see his brother that just woke up. Passes him the little ball that they have at the table and everything else, and then like kind of like sits here just foreboding, standing over him.
This is like if like they had their Scar Mufasa moment already. This is like if Mufasa survived the fall.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But it's like he bends down to give him a kiss right here and everything else because his brother's saying, I don't remember nothing. But you know, the king is like, you better keep that way. You better, or not the king, but the king regent's like, you better keep it that way. Like you don't know shit.
That memory would never come back.
You better keep pretending your ass don't know damn thing. And then we see Aegon still messed up. The maester comes in at the right time, and then home dude's like, yeah, my brother's got a long road to recovery. Basically hinting at the fact that he's going to be in charge still for a pretty good while and everything. And then we go to the Eyrie. Get to see the Eyrie again. We got the little son of Rhaenyra, and what is she? What would she be? She's kind of like the niece, sitting over here walking around the castle. Oh, bro, got to stop right here because,
Oh,
hey, I know you like the little cute things because, like, you know, your
Yeah.
favorite character in Acolyte was Basil. I'm pretty sure you like porgs and everything else. But we got the actual live
Blue
small
from
baby
Jurassic
dragon.
Park. Blue from
Oh.
Jurassic Park.
Hell yeah, bro. But you got the small dragon
Yeah.
here and everything else. That was kind of a cool scene of the two kids like playing around and everything, and her just kind of watching over them as she's thinking. But they already seen where there was like, she tells Aaron over here that, yo, they a big ass dragon. You ain't told nobody about. They a big ass dragon up in here, man.
I got nervous because I didn't know, like, I didn't think of right away thinking of it's a wild dragon. I thought it was like Vagar's over there or something, like one of the bad dragons is over there, and like they're about to get jumped. So I was like, oh shit.
Yep. But I kind of know there's other dragons. There's wild dragons out there, like and everything else. But we do come to this scene, and this is something that I didn't notice when we were watching because I really wasn't paying attention to it. But then we talked about it right after this scene was over with, and this is the two brothers. And the one brother congratulating the one, like, hey, man, be the first mate, man. We deserve this kind of stuff and everything. And he's like, well, you know, he's never going to recognize us. This was like the biggest hint of all, basically telling you that they are bastard kids of old Sea Snake. So, but as you see right here, you were right. You were asking about like him shaving his head.
Yeah.
And you can see it. It looks like it comes in white, and that's why he's been doing it, is because he didn't want people to like even know.
Yeah, it's just odd that there's no bald guys over there, right? They're all have their hair grown out and stuff like that. So I was like, is that like something he has to do? Is it a penance? Is it because? And then you brought up, like, what happens if it's white? And I go, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Then if it's white, you don't want to know that you're the bastard child of.
Like if his hair was white because it's a very specific house trait, he would already be assumed and said to be a bastard.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to walk around like that with everybody else. And it's up to the Sea Snake to actually even legitimize him or not. Like the Sea Snake could go up to him right now and say, "You're a legitimate heir," and give him the post, and that's all that would need to happen. But most of the time, that doesn't happen because people aren't proud of having a bunch of bastards and everything else.
Yeah.
Different families, different houses think differently of it. But yeah, he didn't want to walk around, town and people just know.
Do you know they're like what they're called? You know how like there was snow and there's sands and
actually it's probably said by their names. I think it's Hull.
Okay.
No, yeah. I think it is Hull, like Hull. And it would make sense because like I don't know actually. That's actually a good question. I actually don't know that right off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't know like what they would be, because like it makes sense. Like if you're a bastard in the Riverlands, you're called Rivers. Like the Lady Witch is Alice Rivers, right? Yeah. So like those names make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just clicked in my head. I mean, there was always names for bastards in different areas. So I was like, wonder if you knew what technically their name.
Right, like up in the north it's Snow. Like if you're a bastard, your name's Snow. It doesn't even matter who your dad was. All the bastards in that area are called Snow. But we get this moment right here with the Rhaenyra and her son. This is one of the times where they, have kind of a little bit. Not really, I wouldn't even say that big of an argument. But he just brings up Daemon, and she's tired of hearing Daemon, man. She's tired of hearing about that shit, man.
She's like, I got my own. I can hold this down. Like she has no faith in Daemon anymore, and she's getting tired of like the whole perception that she needs a man to help her. Like she can do this on her own. She can figure this out, and so she's getting tired of hearing Daemon by this time.
Yeah, she's wanting to do it like all on her own. But I would say this: it's time. Hey, girl, like, you're trying to win something, man. You can't like let pride or anything else kind of get in the way of this. You've got to do your thing, whatever you've got to do to win this, and then you can fix whatever you need to fix afterwards. But right here, you got to concentrate on like winning. And then she comes up, and they have another moment here, and they're talking about the gift again. And then we see what the gift is. It's just food, bro.
Brilliant play.
Brilliant play. Food, and on multiple ships. You can see there in the background these little mini ships they made and boats to like go across the bay. Because a lot of people don't realize this. I know some people question, oh, how was a dragon able to get there so fast? Well, they're literally across the bay from each other. Like, they're not very far away. Like, as far as like there's not this huge like area like that they're far away. A dragon flying could get to King's Landing pretty damn quick because they're at Dragonstone. So a lot of people don't understand that and get that. We see the queen. I can't remember what they were calling her in this episode. The Queen Dower. But we see her next to her son, and she's kind of hoping he gets well. But it's like, bro, she's so like weird. Like, she acts like she's caring now and all this stuff, but does she really care? Like, she really didn't show them that much love when they were younger and everything. And she even calls them later on in the episode evil.
She's lost, man. Like, her dad, like, they're not really close anymore. Like, she was kind of used by him. Like, her sons are kind of like on the outskirts of her. She's lost her power. Cole's going off to war. He may never survive. She kind of shows like this. She's trying to like have a talk with her brother. They're not really close, I guess. Like, so she's kind of feeling like she feels lost to me.
Yeah. I don't know if she knows where she's coming and going now. She doesn't know, like, her and Christian Cole, like you said, there's like a wedge there now. I did like this scene right here with her brother. I thought it was pretty fascinating. I thought it was like a really good character scene. We got to see a little more of her brother and what her brother's about and everything. So I thought he was kind of like too much snarky and everything else. And I was hoping that at that one scene one episode and scene where they're running away from the dragon, maybe his ass gets burned alive and like they were able to escape in the trees. But now I think he's kind of a respectable character. Yeah. Like, I thought he's like a piece of trash, but I think he's not that bad. I think after the last few episodes and stuff of him doing what he's been doing and everything, like, I think he's actually like maybe a decent guy. Hey,
does he sound like Hannibal to you, or Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah, maybe a little bit like his voice. It never crossed my mind like watching, but yeah.
I was just thinking about. I was like, he has a good villain voice, and I was like, why is the cadence and stuff sound familiar? I was like, oh, it's kind of like Lecter-ish.
And this is where the common folks start to get a little food. Get a little of that food that came in from the boats, bro. Look at that guy right there in the middle, son. He is fucking taking off. He is gone. He's about to go have a feast himself, bro. He's so damn hungry, son. And that's what's happening. Like, that's what I said. Like, some of these scenes may have been slower to some people, but it means so much. Like, these people are just so happy. They're going to get any scraps of food. It doesn't matter. You know, like, most people saw that one bag drop that the big dog right here gets. And, like, basically, he picks it up and it's like some carrots. Most people these days would be like, why are they making such a big deal about carrots? Bro, because you ain't been starving for real like these people. A carrot right now is like some good ass shit, dude. And then we see Allison and her daughter out here lighting some candles, trying to be good, trying to like hope for some hope. And then she gets slapped right in the face. I think it was with like a rotten fish or something, bro.
Yeah, with a squid. I don't know what she got hit by.
Smacked in the face, bro. Look at that shit. Look at that thing. Look at her. Look at her daughter looking at her like, damn, glad it wasn't me.
Shit.
Bro,
I thought one of them was done. I was like, this is a perfect time to kill one of these girls.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you, the daughter doesn't do a lot in the books besides like that one scene with blood and cheese. So like, she's kind of like goes crazy after that in the books, like and don't really show up. So it's pretty interesting. They're putting her in some more of the stuff, and it makes more sense anyway.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they almost got, man. And then she's like, put the swords away. She knows it's like a bad thing, but this one guy like grabs her. Probably one of the most action-packed scenes is this scene right here. But that one guy grabbed one of the knights or whatever, or grabbed her actually, and was holding on to her. And one of the knights took out their sword and cut his arm off. Mm-hmm. Oh, people wasn't having none of that shit. And then they started just going off and attacking, man. You got men, women, like probably some kids in there kicking and shit, bro. They like, hell no. And it's just crazy when a mob takes over, bro. You better get your ass out of there. And they were able to luckily, I guess, what side you're on or who you're kind of rooting for to escape, bro. You saw them people coming out there, bro. They was about to get human barbecue. They was about to get there. They was about to get some meat tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was not playing coming through there, bro. And then we have Laris coming in here. Yeah,
meat guy.
Oh, we got old feet man over here. I wonder if he was checking out Aegon's feet during this time. because I think
I could deal with burn feet.
Yeah, I think his foot was kind of hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they got the bandages around and shit. Probably got him a little peek or two. But anyway, he's going over here. Agen's like begging him to help him.
Yeah.
And I think Laris is learning the same thing his mom is like, yo, this kid I got a chance with. This kid I got an actual chance to have some power with. The other kid, bro, he rotten to the core, man. Ain't nobody like him. You
know, the mom wasn't giving me no more feet picks. The other dude was casting me off, telling me to go get Otto. Well, I gotta get on good with this guy at least.
Yeah, it's just one of those things to where he's just out there getting, bro. He's messed up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's messed up, but we're gonna see like what happens to him later on in the episode or show and stuff like that. And like I said, Laris being in his corner may help him out, especially since Amon wanted to kind of disrespect him earlier in the episode. So now you kind of be like, well, and we go back to one of the dreams. This is the most powerful one to me. He's holding his brother and he's like, I'm here now. You know, like he wasn't there before. He's admitting it right here, like right here in this moment. He's like, you needed me. I'm here now. And he's like tearing up, like great job by the actor here, Damon, like, bro, I think it's Middleston or something like that, man. This dude is freaking awesome. He's fantastic. Makes the show better just him being in here. But like he's just, man, really 100% just like he's feeling it. He knows it. And he gets woken up here and he gets told the good news that old man Tully finally passed away. And the witch earlier said, hey, big dog, in about 3 days.
Big Daddy, got you.
Don't worry, Big Daddy. 3 days, the wind's going to change course. And they did. The winds changed course. Little did we know it was going to be the old man's death that changed everything. And now Damon, you know, he comes in and gives Damon the news, which should be good news. Mm-hmm. But like when he comes in and gives it to him, man, he walks out and Damon just like, as soon as he leaves, you can even see it in his face here. He's still kind of perturbed. You know, he's still kind of beat up from having the dream he just had. Yeah. And right here, look at that. Bah, look at that ugly cry face right there, man. Because he's tearing, like he literally starts crying, man. He starts crying. Like he realizes like he could have had something great with his brother. And that's one of the things like I never get. I get it though. People get so close to having power, the ultimate power, and they just want it so bad. And they end up causing their life to be kind of ruined for it and everything else, just being that close to it. But it's like, you're kind of realize, man, if I'd have just chilled out and been with my brother, we could have had great times. We could have ruled together. He could have played a big part in it. You know what I'm saying? And he could have had a better relationship with his family. Yeah. And he's realizing that now, man. Like he made all these mistakes and stuff like that. And that's one thing I do. The dream started out weird, couple of episodes in a row, and then this episode, the dreams became more real about what happened to him. And it looks like I think he's getting over that now. Like I think after this episode, he should be good to go about just getting out of here, being able to clear the way, get this out of his system, and then become more like closer to the Damon that we knew from like earlier episodes.
No, definitely. This definitely hit home because I've seen my father and uncle while they were alive. They had this relationship.
Yep.
Of like one was my uncle was the badass. Like I loved him. I'm like basically Amen, I guess, kind of worship my uncle because he's such a badass, you know, fighter, you know, whatever power, you know, he was going after. And my dad was kind of like the older gentleman that kind of like they just didn't sit eye to eye. They always bumped heads. So it's kind of like it hits home for me to watch that relationship.
No, yeah, and probably hits a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Here we got I stopped right here because this is the perfect moment of what Greg would be doing instead of trying to ride the dragon. Greg would be nothing but like this guy right here.
I'm hitting the jets.
No, yeah, bro. All you're gonna see is asshole and elbows, baby.
That's all you're gonna see from me.
Him flying, because that's what's happening right here. That's it. He's getting the hell out of there, bro. He ran so fast, I thought he was gonna start a fire himself. But we see Sea Smoke, the dragon, coming up and almost like he's going to attack him and stuff like that. But hey, we know. Yeah. We know. Cool ass scene with the dragon too when he swoops in. Like I think that even startled you a little bit.
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me.
He was like, "Bah, look at this big bro, he about to get his ass, man." The dragons, they do such a good job with the dragons, man, in this show and everything else. And we get Rhaenyra and them getting the good news, like, hey, their trick kind of worked and everything. A lot of people are kind of on her side now in King's Landing and all this. And like, she lets it be known she wishes she was born a man because she would have probably been able to be stronger and all this stuff and everything, which is fine. Because I mean, like, I get it. Like, you was born in a time or lived in a world like this, like it would be tough to be a female and everything else. So I kind of get that. She comes up and Greg, as they slowly came together, we started seeing it in their eyes.
Yeah, you saw a little twinkle. Started to see a little tongue on the neck.
Yeah, we got a little like, like it starts off with a hug.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's like, let me sniff that hair. Oh, let me get that neck. Oh, let me get those lips. You know what I'm saying? It became a little more, and then this is when Home Dude comes walking in. It's like I was
ultimate,
like, oh, yeah,
ultimate blocker.
Yeah, look at this asshole coming in here. But yeah, he comes up and he's like, hey man, Sea Smoke's been sighted and there's somebody flying that bastard. And this is one of the coolest moments I think of this episode was right here at the end. Is when she walks out with authority, babe. She ain't taking her time.
Yeah.
She comes out with authority. She gets on that gosh darn dragon. She's about to find out who the hell got Sea Smoke, right?
Yeah.
And she's thinking it's one of the Greens.
Yeah, it's like
one of their family members came and got Sea Smoke for the cause, but little does she know that's not exactly what happened. And she's going to find that out, presume, in this next episode, which will be the next to last episode. But yeah, a lot of like building, putting the pieces into place.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do. I'm like you. I really do appreciate it when a show does this well, because I know that next episode or the next, so either 7 or 8, the way Game of Thrones works sometimes is like the biggest thing that's going to happen at the end of the season actually don't happen on the last episode. It happens on the episode before, so that the last episode they can kind of put the pieces in the place to be able to set you up for what might be coming in the next season. But so we shall see. So 7 might be the banger, 8 could be the banger, and everything else. But like both of them could be, to be honest with you. But yeah, man, it's setting us up. We're learning things, we're seeing things, and it's going to be when we do get those really super great action-packed big key moments happening, it's going to mean even more because we spent time with these characters and we were showed in a way that makes sense how these things are lining up, man. But yeah, you gave a positive thing about this episode before we started talking about it. I did as well. Where do you think you fall in line as it comes for like a score, like 1 out of 10?
It's got to be a 9, 9.5 for me.
Oh, you super high on it.
Yeah, I love this episode. This episode set up a bunch of things, great acting. It was engaging. It just had me hooked. I was super happy from all the performances, the dragons, the little bit of stuff we got. So I was super happy with it.
I always give these episodes. So like the first 3 episodes this season, I was around a 7, right? On almost all of them. And then we got episode 4. And the reason why I give those first 3 episodes like a 7, we had some like things that were in there that was good. And it was like, it was super good, to be honest with you. But I always give these style episodes a little bit of a lower score because I want to give it time to breathe. I want to see what the payoffs are, because then I can go back. And now I would say the first 3 episodes of the season, none of them are below an 8. Mm-hmm. They're at least an 8, 8.5 score now. When I first scored them, I was like at a 7. And I gave it a 7, and I gave it like that on purpose because I wanted to see the payoff. Episode 4 showed me the payoff, right? And it raised the score of all those 3 episodes. I don't want to watch episode 4. This is the difference, right? And I hate to keep bringing this show up, but it's just something that is happening at the same time. So it's just easy to look at. I won't ever watch full episodes of The Acolyte. I might go back and watch a couple of choreographed fight scenes I thought were cool, like little clips basically of the fighting or something like that. But that's it. Nothing else am I going back to. Episode 4 had the action in this season so far. We had the Battle of Rook's Rest, some cool stuff. But I'm not going to jump to episode 4 just to watch that. I'm going to watch. If I go back and watch this show, which I will, I'm going to go back and watch episode 1, 2, and 3. because episode 4 makes those even more better, and those make that episode 4, which I'd give like a 9.5, even better. So like, and that's the thing. So I'll give this one like a 7.5.
Yeah.
But let it be known in the next episode or two, that score, most likely because Game of Thrones and the House of Dragons and these kind of series pays it off. Yeah, it's a little bit of a slower episode. There's still cool moments in the episode and everything else, but those cool moments and them taking their time and telling a story, I truly appreciate, man. Truly do appreciate it. And like, and I'm glad that like you really dug it. I'm digging it about as much as I don't see any bad things in this episode.
Nah.
To me, I'm digging it about as much as you are as far as that goes. But I have that thing like I want to be able to raise this episode up once I see, you know what I'm saying? This is kind of like the appetizer. When I see that full course, then I go back and say like, man, that appetizer was a banger. I'm going to rake it up higher. So that's what I want to do is like give room to be able to push this episode up once I see the culmination of the next couple of episodes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just it gets an extra bonus point too for no Christian Cole sex scenes.
Yeah,
I mean,
so you didn't like it when he was eating the cake?
Nah, I was out. I was out. I've been out on them. I've been out on the other dude got barbecued. I'm glad that their roles have been kind of like, and we're shifting to other people.
Bro, there's a couple people out there going to be pissed off at your ass for saying that because they think Christian Cole's hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, shout out to him. Shout out to him getting the cake and, you know, all that. I'm never going to never be bad.
Nah, man, screw Christian Cole, man.
I just don't like that guy.
Listen, I like bad guys, bro. I got bad guys all over the place from Star Wars and everything else. I like the bad guys in a lot of cases. Megatron's way better than Optimus Prime, man. But here goes the deal. Like, I can't jump on you, man, when you a little wuss ass bitch like Christian Cole is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can fight good. But you know what I'm saying? But like just mentally and fucking like bro has no fucking honor, man. You got to have honor. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can be a bad person, but still have some honor to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can still fight with honor and stuff, even though you may be technically like the bad person or the one that's in the wrong. Or maybe you just be looked at and misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? Like you making them tough decisions other people won't. And that happens a lot of times in the Game of Thrones, man, where some people might make a decision you don't agree with, but shit, to be honest, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
but man, go ahead.
I was gonna say like there's a little bit of parallels with Jamie, I guess too. Like you didn't like he was kind of a snotty, like you didn't really like you liked him, you're interested by him, but then you like see he's a jerk or whatever, and then he has like a whole character development. But like this guy, I just don't rock with him at all. I'm just like that, bro. Like this guy.
Well, Jamie always had, what am I supposed to do? Let the king kill everybody with the green fire?
Yeah.
I had to stab him in the back, even though that was breaking my oath. And he always kind of kept that, you know, with him and everything else, right? And then like he tried to do better as time went on and everything else. So like prove himself and all this. But like, yeah, it was just, Christian Cole's is a piece of shit, bro.
Yeah, I'm just like,
but a great actor though. I got to give the actor props.
Yeah.
I got to give the actor props, bro. This guy's been getting hate on his like Twitter and like.
Oh really?
Yeah, Instagram and shit.
For what is like, acting or what? Or
no,
like
because his acting's so good they hate his characters.
Oh, okay.
And
that's a compliment, right? If you're doing your job.
Well, no. Some of these idiots can't differentiate between him being a real life person and him being a character on the show.
Okay.
That's what kind of world we live in now, Greg. But you got any last thoughts?
Nah, man, I'm excited. I can't wait for the next 2 episodes.
Next
left.
2 seasons, bro. The next 2 episodes. It's 4 seasons long, so there are going to be 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we get 2 more episodes. I'm pretty excited about it because usually the Game of Thrones, like you got to think about season 1, episode 7 and episode 8, both were like, to me, bangers. Like I liked both of them, man. Actually, no way. I say 7 and 8 because I'm thinking about it being 8. It was 9 and 10, like 8 and 9, 10. All of them last 3 episodes were just freaking balls to the wall. Things happening, things going on. But yeah, I'm excited as well, man. And to all you guys, please like and subscribe. Put down in the bottom of the comments like how sexy me and Greg are, or you know, things about the show and how cool you thought it was, or how slow you may have thought it was. Maybe you don't like it as much as me and Greg did. But until next time, peace. Greg, no, Greg, don't leave immediately. Okay, like you do all the other times.